I have few friends because something happened many years ago that opened my eyes. Nature has given us 2 eyes, 2 ears, but only 1 tongue so that we can see and hear more than we speak. Observing and listening carefully allows us to grasp reality in its entirety. Before making hasty judgments, many people come into our lives, and each one is capable of teaching us something. I have learned that instead of wanting to have friends, if you become your own best friend to the point of never betraying yourself or your own ideals, you will find the inner peace, tranquility, and mental health that every human being deserves. Some people live in appearances to fit into the mold of this current world. They lose themselves and, unknowingly, live in a world of lies that becomes their truth, a world of illusion. That's why I have few friends, because I don't sacrifice my ideals or my essence for the sake of a lie. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Marcos. He came from a wealthy family residing in New York. He had a beautiful girlfriend, many friends, and studied at the best college in the city. He always seemed happy, going to parties, driving his sports car around the city, and attending concerts of his favorite singers. There was no room for sadness or worry. He was never an arrogant boy or anything like that, which was strange for a boy who had everything he wanted due to his parents' wealth. One day, during a business trip of his parents, a terrible accident occurred, and they lost their lives. The plane lost control during a strong turbulence. Marcos's world crumbled. He loved his parents very much because, despite having a busy life, they never failed to give him attention and educate him. Marcos's friends and his girlfriend accompanied him during and after the funeral of his parents. Until weeks later, his uncle, an elderly man of about 60 years old, arrived with a document claiming that he was the heir to all the money, properties, and companies that should have belonged to Marcos. Marcos couldn't believe that his parents would leave him with nothing. Marcos found himself in a desperate situation. He discovered that his uncle had forged the will. As a result, Marcos was deprived of his legitimate and civil rights, without any inheritance. To his disappointment, he found no support or help from anyone around him. His girlfriend and friends turned their backs on him, and he fell into a deep depression. For months, he wandered the city begging, sunk in alcohol, and for him, life had ended. Until one day, he had a dream. In the dream, his father was smiling, patting his back, and saying that he was a great guy and proud of him. He told him not to worry about him or his mother, that they were fine, and that it was not worth continuing to be sad for people who never loved him and were never his friends. Then, he approached and whispered something in his ear. Immediately, Marcos woke up agitated with a pounding heart. He realized that he was crying while asleep and missed his parents very much. This dream comforted him. He spent hours trying to make sense of what his father had said, what he had said to look for the key that opens locker number 105 in a storage unit, and that the key was in the library of his old house, behind the Bible. Marcos had to break into what was once his home like a thief. He entered the library, and indeed, behind the Bible, there was a dusty key. Immediately, Marcos went to the storage unit and, upon opening locker 105, came across an envelope. And inside it, a will. It turns out his father had 2 copies of the will, one that his uncle had destroyed to forge his own will, and another that he had kept in that storage unit. Marcos managed to recover his fortune, his parents' businesses, and was able to return to his home. When his ex-girlfriend and friends found out, they wanted to get close again, driven by self-interest. But Marcos never paid them any attention again. Over time, he met a beautiful girl in a park. She was beautiful and simple, and she passed the test of sincerity, with whom he had 2 children. He also met other people who became close to him and shared common interests, and he realized that in life, we have many acquaintances but few friends. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel to stay tuned.